I never thought something as simple as walking home could make me fear the night for the rest of my life. This happened 3 years ago when I was a college student living off campus in a small town in Oregon. It wasn't a big city, just quiet streets, closed stores after 9 p.m., and the kind of neighborhood where you'd think nothing bad ever happens. But that night proved that darkness hides more than shadows. It was early November, cold air, wet leaves stuck to the sidewalks, and the faint smell of rain. I had stayed late at a friend's apartment, helping her study for finals. By the time I left, it was close to midnight. She offered to call me a ride, but I said no. It was only a 15-minute walk to my place, and I had done it hundreds of times before. I told her I liked the quiet. I regret those words more than anything. The first few minutes were peaceful, just the crunch of my boots and the sound of wind pushing through the trees. Most of the houses on that street were dark, with only the occasional porch light flickering. I pulled my jacket tighter and started scrolling through my phone, listening to music. That's when I heard it, the faint rhythm of footsteps behind me. At first, I didn't think much of it. Maybe someone else was heading home too. But when I slowed down, the sound slowed with me. When I sped up, it sped up. My chest tightened. The sound wasn't far away anymore. It was close, too close, matching my pace almost perfectly. I told myself not to panic. It's just someone walking in the same direction, I thought. But then I glanced at a parked car window and saw something in the reflection. A tall man, wearing a dark hooded jacket, walking about 20 feet behind me. He wasn't on his phone, not looking around, just staring straight ahead, at me. I felt that sharp, sinking fear you only feel when you realize something is really wrong. I turned left down a different street, one that curved toward my neighborhood. I listened carefully. His footsteps followed, still steady, still behind me. I crossed to the other side of the road, pretending to look at something in my bag. He crossed too. That's when I knew it wasn't my imagination. My heart was hammering now, hands shaking as I pulled out my phone. I opened the camera, pretending to take a selfie, just to catch a glimpse behind me. There he was, still there, still watching, his face hidden under the hood, but his posture rigid, deliberate. I couldn't see his eyes, but I could feel them on me. I tried calling my roommate, but no one picked up. I didn't want to call 911 yet. What would I say? That someone might be following me. Still, I kept my phone in my hand and decided to head for the nearest convenience store, 2 blocks ahead. The streetlights above me flickered weakly, one after another, as I walked faster. The man matched my every move. When I reached the store, I pushed through the door so fast, the clerk looked startled. I stood there, pretending to browse the aisles, trying to calm my breathing. For a moment, I thought maybe I'd lost him. I even dared to peek out the glass window. He was standing across the street, motionless, facing the store, not doing anything, just standing there. The clerk asked me if everything was okay. I told him someone was following me home. He came around the counter to look, but by the time he did, the man was gone, completely gone. No footsteps, no shadow, just empty street. The clerk offered to call the police, but I said it was fine. I was scared, but embarrassed too. Maybe I had overreacted. After waiting about 10 minutes, I decided to leave. I thanked the clerk and stepped outside, scanning every direction. The street was empty. I started walking again, trying to convince myself the danger was over. But halfway home, the feeling returned. That invisible pressure, the weight of being watched. I didn't hear footsteps this time, but I felt him, somewhere behind me, hidden, waiting. I quickened my pace until my small apartment complex came into view. I rushed inside, locked the door, and went straight to my room. I didn't even take off my shoes. I sat on my bed, heart still racing, listening for any sound outside. Minutes passed. Then, 3 faint knocks at the door. I froze. It wasn't the front door to the building. It was my door. 3 slow knocks, evenly spaced, followed by silence. I grabbed a kitchen knife from the drawer and stood there, afraid to even breathe. Whoever it was didn't knock again. No footsteps walking away. No voice. Nothing. After a full minute, I finally looked through the peephole. No one was there. That night, I barely slept. I kept the lights on until sunrise. When I finally stepped outside in the morning, there were faint, muddy footprints on the concrete leading up to my door and stopping there. No other prints around, as if the person had vanished after standing there. I told my roommate everything when she got home. She thought maybe it was someone drunk or a prank. But when we checked the building's security camera, we saw something that still chills me. At 12:42 a.m., the footage showed me entering the building, looking terrified. Then, exactly 1 minute later, a tall man in a dark hoodie appeared at the front door. He stood there, unmoving, facing the glass for almost 30 seconds before walking away into the night. The police reviewed the footage, but said there wasn't enough to identify him. They promised to patrol the area for a while, but nothing ever came of it. Weeks passed, and I started to relax again. But just when I thought it was over, it happened one more time. One night, around 1 a.m., I woke up to a faint scraping sound at my window. My room was on the second floor, and that window didn't have a balcony. I turned on the light, heart pounding, and saw nothing but darkness outside. Then, a single tap on the glass. Slow, deliberate, almost like a warning. I pulled the curtains shut and didn't sleep again until morning. When I checked the window the next day, there was something small stuck to the outer frame, a torn piece of black fabric, like the edge of a hoodie. I called the police again, but by the time they came, the piece was gone, no trace left behind. I don't know who he was or why he followed me. Maybe he picked me at random. Maybe he'd seen me before and waited for the right night. All I know is that ever since then, I've never walked home alone again. And even now, years later, every time I step outside at night, I still feel those same eyes watching me from somewhere in the dark.